Today we're heading to a quiet corner of South Carolina where the serene landscape of Shaw Creek holds a dark secret, the chilling possibility of a serial killer whose victims remain largely forgotten. This is Hold My Sweet Tea. Good morning, y'all. I'm Holly.
And I'm Pearl. And I have something really exciting to say.
Ooh, I like it.
This is episode 50.
50!
50.
Our golden anniversary? our golden episode-iversary? Yeah, that.
Episode-iversary?
Episode-iversary. So somebody buy us something gold. I like jewelry, gold bars. No.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome, though. We made it to 50 episodes.
Yep. So I thought that was important to bring up.
That's almost as old as I am.
Like old nifty 50.
Nifty 50.
But to think that we just started in February.
Right. Like
and we have 50 dang episodes.
We're trucking it, even through this horrific, ungodly summer.
We're holding it together.
Holding it together.
We have like a glass of sweet tea that's been super glued.
Yes. We're like, damn it, we're not giving up now.
Don't stop me now.
We're not having a good time, but we are on the podcast.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I guess, do we have any other events we want to talk about, or no?
Not really.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll jump right into this one today, and then we will banter a little after. So if y'all want to stick around, it's really funny at the end. I don't know if anybody listens to the whole thing, but
right, they've just listened.
That's where we get a little delulu. So we're talking about the Shaw Creek Killer. On a crisp Monday morning, November 16th, 1987, two hunters are making their way through the woods in Aiken County, South Carolina. It's kind of in that little corner by North Georgia and where North Carolina comes down near like Athens.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Aiken County is. While walking along near Shaw Creek, they stumble upon something that shattered the morning's peace: skeletal remains. The remains were lying face down, legs crossed, arms outstretched, barely covered by the soil, no clothing, no belongings, just bones.
Whoa.
Right. That's something to stumble upon on a crisp fall morning.
Especially something that's like obviously been positioned, like
right.
Staged.
Yes.
Like what is happening?
So police arrived about a half hour after they called and noted something unsettling. The remains looked almost, like you said, posed, roots growing over the finger bones, suggesting they'd been there for quite some time, perhaps 1 to 5 years. There were no insects, indicating decomposition had happened a year or more prior. A search of the scene with a metal detector yielded only one clue: a brass shotgun shell casing found beneath the body. It was an older type lacking the modern plastic or paper wadding. I'm like, how did it get underneath the body?
Shot through the heart?
Maybe.
I don't know.
And not your brain.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I'm like, that's a little weird, but yeah, I mean, it could have been executioner style, and they just fell arms out, and the legs just naturally crossed when they fell forward.
My thoughts are, I mean, if they died via gunshot wound, even if it, yeah, I mean, the casing underneath, yeah, I'm like,
They shot in the back through the stomach, maybe, or something.
Possibly.
Who knows? So Aiken County coroner Sue Townsend began to piece together a profile of this victim. later known as the 1987 Aiken Jane Doe. She was likely of predominantly Black heritage, possibly with European, Indian, or Caribbean influence, indicated by her high cheekbones. She stood between 5'8", 5'10" tall, pretty tall, and around 150 to 160 pounds. Her bones told the story of a life she lived. She had a healed fracture on the left side of her nose and a healed injury to her right knee. She was missing at least 5 teeth, including her lower right first molar, which had been removed early in life, and she had a very pronounced overbite. Most crucially for investigators, her hair tested positive for cocaine.
Oh.
So she had been there all that time, but
her hair
still yeah.
holding on to them drugs.
Right. It's like, ooh.
Yeah, this is why then people get scared of those hair tests.
Yep.
They'd be asking you.
They'd be trying to shave their head bald.
Y'all drug test? Yeah. Is it hair or pee?
Right. Let me go shave my hair. Like, to the root.
Yeah.
Pluck it out. So this narrowed the search, unfortunately, to a tragic pool of missing sex workers and drug addicts from South Carolina and northern Georgia. Initially, police considered the possibility of her being a missing migrant farmer, though that lead eventually faded. In July of 1989, a facial reconstruction offered the public their first glimpse of this unknown woman, nearly 2 years after her discovery. Despite these efforts, her identity remained a mystery for over 3 decades. Around the same time this first Jane Doe was found, another story was unfolding. Jacqueline Marie Council, known to friends and family as Jackie, was born October 21st, 1956. By the fall of 1986, she had just celebrated her 30th birthday and was a mother of 4 children. On November 10th, 1986, Jackie dropped off her 5-year-old son at school, said goodbye, told him she loved him, and she was never seen again. Her family reported her missing that evening, embarking on years of agonizing uncertainty. So fast forward to March 22nd, 1991, nearly 5 years after Jackie Council vanished, and 4 years after the discovery of the first Jane Doe. Loggers were cutting pine trees off South Carolina Highway 191 in the same area near Shaw Creek. Just after 10:30 that Friday morning, skeletal remains were reported to the Aiken County Sheriff's Department. I'm like, there's a lot of skeletal remains in this area, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I was about to say, it's like a garden
like
of bones.
A little dumping ground over there.
Mhm.
Like the first victim, this body was found nude. Coroner Sue Townsend confirmed these remains had also been there for years. Like, this area must have been like very desolate where people just didn't go very
Right.
often.
It wasn't visited by very many, obviously.
Right. So details surrounding this 1991 Aiken Jane Doe, including the cause of death, were scarce due to the deteriorated state of the remains. Then, less than 2 years later, on January 25th, 1993, another body was found in the same general vicinity, close to the Aiken and Edgefield County border. This third victim presented a stark difference than the other two. Her remains had been burned post-mortem.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Removing soft tissue like hair and eyes, making like identification incredibly difficult because they had got hair and a little bit of DNA off the other one. So this one they set fire to. Authorities theorized she had been killed, possibly decomposed elsewhere, and then moved and burned. So again, the coroner, Sue Townsend, estimated she had been there for 2 to 5 years, and the cause of death was a wound to the back of the neck, likely a stab wound.
Ooh.
This was 1993 Aiken Jane Doe.
Were these other 2 bones sets like also posed, or did they not say?
The first 2 were. This one was just laid out and burned. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this was 1993 Aiken Jane Doe. She was also nude, No clothing or belongings. They couldn't find any trace of anything around her, just her body burned. She was estimated to be between 25 and 32, 5'4" to 5'7", with a slight to medium built, right-handed, and protruding teeth. I'm like, this is kind of a weird coincidence. Like,
Yeah, what's with the...
the overbites. That's, yeah.
Huh.
Like, maybe he had a type. In May of 1993, a search of the area yielded more bone fragments, but no further clues like shell casings. So they kind of did a search of the area because they're like, okay, this is the third body in this amount of years found in this area. So let's kind of do a little search and see what else we can find. So they did a 3D facial reconstruction of the 1991 victim, and this was released later that year. In 1994, police received a tip linking the growing number of local deaths to a man named Frank Potts. He was a migrant worker with a disturbing criminal history. Potts was known to travel extensively for seasonal work. He had served time for child molestation, and after his release, he kidnapped a game warden in Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. When police searched his property, they found the body of another migrant worker. Potts was eventually convicted of a second child molestation charge and murder, receiving life sentences. However, despite initial speculation, the timeline ultimately ruled out Potts as the likely killer of the Shaw Creek victims. So they're like, okay, back to the drawing board. He was imprisoned during the period when the first two victims were likely abducted and murdered, making his involvement highly improbable for those cases. Years after, a different theory emerged. In 2011, after the arrest of John Wayne Boyer, known as the Long Haul Territory Killer, for murders in Tennessee and North Carolina, the Aiken County sheriffs publicly considered the possibility that Shaw Creek victims might also be linked to him. Boyer, who lived in Augusta, Georgia, the metropolitan area, like I said, it was really close to Augusta in that area. For most of his life, he lived there, confessed to killing two women, both of whom were sex workers, and found in various locations, often near interstates, like in truck parking lots. We know what those are.
Mm-hmm.
While the quote-unquote long-haul trucker theory seemed plausible, given the proximity of the bodies to I-20, which was a major interstate because it runs all the way up and down the coast area there, Boyer's there were like crucial differences to what he did and then
like the
these
victims
bodies.
they
Right.
know were his.
Right. So Boyer's victims were primarily slightly built white women. So all of the ones that they have found, they had determined that they were of, African descent or Caribbean or some,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
The Shaw Creek victims, however, were all, like I said, Black women with varying builds, consistently found nude along waterways in Aiken County, close to Boyer's home, though. These inconsistencies make it unlikely that Boyer is the killer responsible for the Shaw Creek murders. In 1997, though, they did have a major breakthrough. A forensic pathologist at the University of South Carolina used then cutting-edge technology to superimpose a photo of Jackie Council over the skull of the body found in March of 1991. The conclusion, the remains belonged to Jacqueline Marie Council. Further DNA testing in November of 1999, comparing the remains to Jackie's son, definitively confirmed her identity. So they identified that one.
Mm-hmm.
On November 16th of 1999, authorities met with Jackie's family, who had held on to hope for over 13 years that maybe she was out there somewhere. The remains found 9 years prior near Shaw Creek and Highway 191 were indeed Jackie. The the coroner stated, clearly we have somebody who has dumped multiple bodies in Shaw's Creek. This is the first step to find out who did that. Investigator Robert Johnson added, the common denominator was that there was nothing found with them. No remains of clothing, no personal items normally carried, by a woman in a purse, no chapstick in the pocket. No,
Because they didn't have no pockets.
Right, nothing.
He made sure that they were naked.
Completely nude, nothing. No jewelry, nothing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So this commonly points to the chilling possibility of another victim linked to this killer, though not officially connected in police records. This would be Ristine Durden. Born February 6, 1960, Ristine was last seen on March 13, 1989, in Avera, Georgia, a small town about 45 minutes from Augusta. 3 years later, her body was found in a rural Aiken County area, approximately 15 miles from the other 3 victims, also nude and near a body of water. A facial reconstruction published in the Augusta Chronicle led to her identification, and through dental records, they did identify her. So that was 4 bodies, 2 were identified, 2 Jane Does. While not officially linked, because it wasn't in that same little area, the similarities in victim profiling and the method and location
gives you the idea that maybe this is the same.
Yeah, you couldn't just ignore, this is really close to what it is. But, maybe the killer's like, okay, they've said that they found this body. Let me put this one over here. Yeah. Right. Because he didn't want to get caught out there or something.
Or who knows, it could be the other way around. When was the first one again?
The first one was 1987.
So if this one was like a 1986er, maybe he did her first and then moved to the
True,
other.
Yeah. It could have happened that way. Absolutely.
I mean, you never know. And honestly, as hard as we try, we're never going to understand the thinkings and workings of a serial killer.
Right. But one of the most compelling persons of interest in this case was Joseph Patrick Washington. Washington lived and worked in Augusta, Georgia, in the same area where the Millbrook twins, another pair of missing persons cases, resided. Though small in stature, he was described as stocky and strong. In 1993, Washington was arrested in connection with a series of violent rapes in Augusta. His victims were young Black women, often kidnapped at gunpoint, taken to a second location, sexually assaulted, and then he shot them in the stomach and left them for dead.
Well.
But he didn't strip them of their clothes and their personal items. So it's similar, but yes.
But it sounds like they lived, yeah?
No.
No? Not all of them? Okay.
Mm-mm.
I was like...
Yeah, but they said...
left them for dead.
He left them for dead. Some of them were without clothing or belongings, and they were, close to the Shaw Creek Lake victims and everything. Washington, though, was eventually convicted on over 25 charges of rape, assault, sodomy, kidnapping, and robbery. What a piece of garbage. While he was a prime suspect in 2 other murders, his health deteriorated, likely due to the fact that he had AIDS at the time, and he died in prison in 1999 before he could stand trial for those homicides.
I was going to say, if he went to trial, was he going to use that as his excuse? He's angry because he got...
Right, AIDS. But then he's out here spreading it around, right?
Taking it out on everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody put you in that position. You put yourself in that position.
Yeah.
Yeah. Georgia Bureau of Investigation still holds DNA from Washington's vehicle and home. While not officially linked to the Shaw Creek murders, the striking similarities in victim profile modus operandi, and graphic proximity make him a compelling person of interest. But my question is, did law enforcement ever test his DNA against these cold cases? Because there's nothing that shows that his DNA was ever tested with these other women.
But my thing is like, I get that they have like DNA of the women, but do they have anything to test it against?
Right. I mean, they have Washington's DNA, like
No, I know they have his, but
yeah.
did they find anything on them to test it against?
I mean, they had the one woman's hair, but like the other one was burned, and
but that's all just gonna. Right. I mean, her hair showing her DNA.
Yeah.
Not his.
I mean, they could do.
So I don't know.
Jackie's son and see if there's any, Well, no, because that's true.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's no evidence
that he victimized them. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Like there's not anything to test it against. To
I
see
what
if
you're
matches.
saying. Okay.
So I'm going.
Yeah.
I would assume they didn't test anything because they just don't have anything to test.
Yeah. So the South Fork of Edisto River feeds into Shaw Creek, winding through 32 miles of forest, holding secrets as dark as the creek itself. So that's 32 miles of like property and land that I guess is a good dumping ground for a killer because
ain't nothing
out there.
Yeah.
But the creek. Over the years, other potential suspects have been looked at, including Richard Daniel Starrett and Ronaldo Rivera. Not Geraldo. Ronaldo. I was like, Geraldo? But both violent offenders with ties to the Augusta area, and Henry Louis Wallace, the Taco Bell killer from Barnwell, South Carolina.
Okay.
I did not look into what the Taco Bell killer did, but it sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
I was like, the Taco Bell killer?
Yo quiero murder. I don't know the Spanish word for that. Sorry.
Morte. Death. Yeah. But like Frank Potts and John Boyer, their methods or victim profiles often don't align perfectly with the Shaw Creek murders. The frustrating reality is that the killer or killers is likely still out there, never having faced justice. So this is what we know of everything. So the 1987 Aiken Jane Doe was killed between 82 and 86. Jackie Council went missing in November of 86. Ristine Durden disappeared in March of 89. The 93 Aiken Jane Doe was killed between 88 and 91. So these victims were all Black women in their mid to late 20s, bordering on 30.
All in the mid
80s to like early 90s.
Early 90s, yeah. Okay.
The cocaine found in the hair of the 1987 Jane Doe and the burning of the 1993 Jane Doe's body suggest a possible motive or attempt to conceal evidence. I'm like, I guess I don't see what concealing in the cocaine one was. But I would say,
I don't know.
Maybe he just like the way he put her and everything, he thought he had stripped her clean or something and they wouldn't find anything. Despite the passage of nearly 3 decades since the most recent update and the challenges of illegible archive documents, the case files hint at numerous attempts by investigators to match the Aiken Jane Does to missing persons. The case of Jackie Council, Ristine Durden, and the Aiken Jane Does remains unresolved. So if you have any information, no matter how small, you remember something from back in the 80s, 90s, or you've seen something, contact Aiken County Sheriff's Office. These women, especially the 2 Jane Does, they deserve to be heard, their story, and they deserve to be found.
Yeah, they deserve to have their names back.
Yes, because nobody wants to be a Jane Doe or a John Doe.
Mm-mm.
Or a Dodo.
I'm so sleepy, Doe.
I know. Your eyes look a little red today.
Yeah, I'm on the struggle bus today.
Yeah. Lots and lots of work this week. And we're working how many days straight? A lot.
We've done 4, and we have 8 left
12 days. Yay,
before
math.
we have it.
A day off. If we
Off.
maybe. If we have a day off.
We have a day off. Yeah.
Yeah. But we're getting there.
Don't be like us.
Yeah, don't be like us. Don't work so hard.
Find something easier to do.
Or find your own niche.
Yeah.
Our problem is the money for the niche.
Yeah. This is not my wheelhouse. Sleep. Sleep is in my wheelhouse.
Sleep is in your wheelhouse. I got woke up by a cat laying on my back and my dog having a panic attack because it started thundering.
Yeah, she's poor Tink.
I know. She has horrible, horrible panic attacks when it starts thundering or even fireworks.
She doesn't even live in my house and that starts and I go, oh, poor Lily.
I know. She starts panting and shaking. I'm like, ugh.
Poor
Yeah.
Poochie.
Poor thing.
So, someone who isn't poor. Well, at least I hope she's not.
Yeah.
Our theme music is by Patty Salzetta.
She's probably laughing right now. She's like, y'all crazy.
Yeah, we always got something silly to say right before we bring her up.
Right. Gotta bring up the pate.
Yes. And then, always, forever, I will remind you to please share our links to our social medias and links to actual episodes
Sorry, that was my really loud iced coffee.
with your friends, your family, and anyone who drinks iced coffee.
Yes. Because you can buy us a coffee. Just go to Buy Me a Coffee and search Hold My Sweet Tea Podcast. We're there.
Yep. You can also go buy some merch so you can
Yeah.
wear some t-shirts around the world and be like, hey, check it out.
Hold My Sweet Tea Podcast.
You are a walking billboard.
Exactly.
Help us.
That is a way of sharing us.
Yeah. Then you don't even have to
Yeah.
click on anything. All you got to do is
Yeah.
get dressed.
And we'll put the links in the show notes. But you can also go to printify.com. Hold My Sweet Tea Podcast.
Yeah. Go get it.
We got some cool shirts on there.
Yeah. There's even some that aren't even podcast related if you
Yeah.
just want something silly.
Yeah. There's a lot of like true crime, funny, murdery stuff on. Not
Mhm.
that murder's funny, but like funny stuff / murdery stuff.
Yeah. And just funny stuff
Yeah.
in general. But yeah, so share away, guys.
Share. And then you can also email us.
At steeped@holdmysweettea.com.
And Hold My Sweet Tea, as always, is a Drunken Bee production.
Bzz.
And you guys remember to stay safe out there. If you're walking by a river and you find bones, call a popo.
It's not a mannequin.
It's not a mannequin. Although I did send Pearl a video the other day. It was in Fresno, California. It was a blow-up doll, and the police thought it was a body in a river.
Yeah.
So it could be a mannequin. I was wrong.
Or a blow-up doll.
I stand corrected.
But it's probably not.
But just because we are dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping. Bye.
Bye.